Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Today we are going to have a 3-in-1 video, a very detailed one. Yes, how to draft a corset and how to manipulate it to get your corset with yoke, yes, or your corset tube. So if you have this, you can get this out of it. If you want to have a corset tube like this, you can get this, and with the same pattern you can also use it for your yoke, corset with yoke. Yes, you can also use it for a corset with yoke. And also the same pattern, if you want a corset tube with a sleeve like this, how to manipulate it to get a sleeve like this. And so at the end of the day, just one pattern, you can use it for a lot of or different types of styles. Okay, and so this is a detailed video. If you're watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Okay, like this video, share for me, and relax, and let's get working. What I have here is basic drafting. Okay, so I have this as my chest line, this is my bust line, this is my under bust, and this is my waistline. Okay, and so what I have here is 2 inches allowance. Okay, and so the width of it is bust divided by 4 plus 5 inches. So the bust we are going to use is 46 divided by 4 is going to be 11.5, and then we added 5 inches to it. So this is a quarter of the measurement. You get it? This is a quarter of the measurement. What you get for front is the same thing you are going to get for back. Okay, and so this is the chest line, and the back here we have a zip allowance of 2 inches. So we'll put this, the back aside, and then we'll focus on the front one. Okay, so after making all your demarcations, the next thing we are going to do is to place our darts on it, which is 5 inches. So we'll place 5 here, and then we'll come to the under bust too. We'll place the same 5. Okay, and then I'll come to the waistline to place the same 5. I am taking it all the way down. Okay, then I'll come to the chest line too. I'll place the same 5 at the chest line. Okay, so I'm going to join the points. Okay, so this is our dart line. I hope it's obvious. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to determine the space between the bust line and the under bust. So this space is 4 inches. And so what you do is when you measure yours, this is 4 inches. So you come to the bust point here, the middle here where the dart is, then you measure 4 inches all round. 4 inches all round. You get it? Okay, so I'm going to use compass for this, and I'm going to stand here on the point here, and then open it to the 4 inches here. That's the bust point, you see. So this is it. Okay, then I'm going to draw a circle. So if you don't have a compass, then it means you are going to use your tape measure. Place it here, measure 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. Then you join all the points to get your circle. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my darts. Now, because this is for a plus person, a bustier person, we are going to make use of a dart of 3 inches. Okay, so when we come to the under bust, you can decide that the 3 inches, you have 2 inches here getting to the waistline, and then you have 1 inches inside here. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the 3 inches into 2, making 1.5 on each side. So I'll have 1.5 here, and I have another 1.5 also here, and I'll come to the down part here, the allowance part here, and bring the same 1.5 also there. So 1.5 on each side. Okay, so let me join the points. Then we are going to join this 1.5 to the bust point here, also to the bust point. Hope you get it. I'm going to use my curve. You can use your hands to do it. You can use your hands to do this. So I'll just place it this way. Okay, so I'll join this way. Okay, then I'll bring it here also and join it the same. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is, when we come to the shoulder slant we have here, I'm going to divide it into 2. Okay, so it's 5 inches, so I'm going to make it 2.5, and I'm going to join it from this point to there. So the next thing I'm going to do is the dots that I have here, this 1.5, 1.5, making 3 inches. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to bring it here. Now what I'm going to do is, with the upper part here, I'm not going to place 1.5 here, 1.5 here. No, I'll rather place 2 inches here, this side, and then place 1 inch here. Now with the 3 inches that I'm going to add 1 to 8 to make it 4. So I'll place 2.5 here, then I'll place 1.5 here. Hope you get it. And also, this is your breast cap. You see the circle here is your breast cap. You can decide to maintain it this way, or you can choose that you want it to go up a bit. Do you get it? And so when I place it at the shoulder and I measure, the circle here is up to 8, meaning shoulder to where the breast cap will end is 8 inches. And I want it to go up a bit. And so instead of marking at 8 inches, I'm going to make it 7.5. Do you get it? So I'll add ½ inch to 8. You can choose to make it 7, add 1 inch to it, because we don't want to expose the skin or any cleavage. But if you don't mind, you can leave it at 8, exactly where it is, or you choose to add ½ inch or 1 inch to 8. Okay, so let me make it 1 inch. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is where we'll join it. Okay, so I will come to this 1 inch I have here, and then place my 2 inches, my 2.5 here. Do you get it? My 2.5 here, and then I'll place my 1.5 also here. Then I'll place my 1.5 also here. I'm going to join this point to this, and then join this point also to the bust point. Okay. So I'll turn it this way, and then I'm going to do this one also. Hope you get it. So this is it. So you see the breast shape. The breast shape, everything is coming out very well. So the next thing that I'll do is I'm going to join this from here, the underbust to the armhole, but I'm going to come down by ½ inch. I will measure from this point 1 inch here, and then from there I'll come down by ½ inch Yes, you can decide to maintain it like that, but I don't want at the end of the day to be too tight at the armhole area. So ½ inch here, then I'm going to come here by ½ inch also. So I'll come here also by ½ inch, and I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, so this line is okay. Now when we come here, you can decide that the neckline, you are going to maintain the chest line just as it is, or you can decide to come down by ½ inch or 1 inch or even more, depending on how much you want to expose. But we don't want to expose much, so I'm going to come down by ½ inch, ½ inch here, and then I'll place it here also and measure the same ½ inch, so it's equal, it's exactly the same. I'll come to the bust line here and also measure the same ½ inch, so the same ½ inch also here, and I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, from this ½ inch to, yes, so this is it. Hope you are okay. So this is it. Okay, then I'm going to join it straight this way. So we are going to cut it on this point. Hope you get it. The thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to join this from this point, and I'm going to join it to the extension I have here, the dot point I have here. Okay, so I'll just use my curve to do it. Okay, so here is it, and then I'm going to join this also here. Yes, what I have here also, I'm going to join it to the armhole here. Do you get it? Okay, I've gone too high here, and so I'm going to measure my 1 inch here. Okay, so this is the 1 inch. This one is too high, I went up too much, so this is the 1 inch extension, so this part is not a monk. Okay, so I'm going to join it from here to this, and I'm going to use my curve to get our armhole shape. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so I'm going to clean this. Okay, so here is it, you see. And so we have this. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to join it from here to meet this. Do you get it? Okay, so I'm going to place my okay, so we are going to cut it here instead of this. Do you get it? Then I'm going to join it from here also to the armhole point here. So this is it, you see. So the next thing that we are going to do is to add our measurement, place our measurement on it. And so the bust is 46, which is 11.5. I am taking the measurement from the chest line, so 11.5. Then we're going to measure what we have in the middle here, and what we have here is 2 inches. So 11.5, we'll add it to the 2 inches to make it 13.5. Then we'll add extra 2 inches to it, making 15.5. The extra 2 inches is for sewing allowance. Okay, and then we'll come to it's the same thing we use for the bust line. So we'll come to the under bust, and we are going to use the waist measurement for it. which is 40, making divided by 4 is going to be 10. Then we are going to add what we have here is 3 inches, so it's going to be 13. And then we will have 2 inches allowance, making 15. And so the same 15, we are going to bring it to the down here. Do you get it? We are bringing it here. Okay, so we are going to join the point. So we are going to join from the chest line to the waist, or the extra allowance we have there. Okay. So this is it for the front parts that we are going to cut. Okay, now if you want this type of cap, then that is it. You're going to leave it exactly how it is, then you cut it. But if you want the one that has a curve in between, then we are going to draw that one also. I'm going to come to the ½ inch here, and I'm going to measure 2.5 for here, 2.5, and then I'll come to the ½ inch also here and also measure 2.5, same 2.5, and then I'm going to measure my 3 inches. So the 3 inches is going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to curve it from here to meet this, and also to meet the point here. Okay, so this is it. So it means you're going to cut this upper part. Do you get it? So this is it. So with the back also, we are going to place our darts on it, and then the dart is 5 inches, and then I'll come to the down part here, also place the same 5 inches. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to come down here by ½ inch. That is the armhole line, just as we did for the front part, ½ inch. Then when we come to the next side, you can choose to maintain this as your neckline. When I measure from here is 9 inches, and so you can choose to maintain, or you can come down by 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches, or how deep you want it. I'm going to come down here by 1 inch. Yes, I'm going to join from the ½ inch to the 1 inch. Okay, and then the darts, I'm going to measure 0.75 on each side, 0.75 here. You can measure ½ inch and it will be okay. 0.75 also here. Then I'll come to the next side. I'm going to measure quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch. Okay, so 0.25 here, and I'm going to measure the same 0.25 also here. So I'm going to join. So this is our back dart. Okay, so what I am going to do here is that this zip line, we are going to cut it off, because this time we are going to use loop. Okay, you are going to use loop for it. So you cut this zip allowance off, but we are not going to cut exactly, so we are going to go in more, because when you cut the zip allowance, at the end of the day, it's going to meet like this. So we are going to take some inches from it, depending on how much you want to take. I'll come down here and measure 1 inch at the down here, and then when I come here, I'm going to measure 1.5. Okay, 1.5 here. And I'm going to join this 1.5 to this 1 inch. Okay, So we are going to cut it from here. Do you get it? Okay, so let's place our measurement on it. So the measurement that we are using, that is 46, making 11. Okay, 11.5. I'm placing it on this line. So 11.5. I'm going to add 2 inches allowance to 8. And the half inch we have here. So 11.5 here. Then the half inch making 12. Then 2 inches allowance, 1, 2, making 14. And so we are going to leave this like that. Then we'll come to the down here waistline, 40 inches. You see, I've placed it on the zip line, so you don't have to place it here because we are going to cut. No, you have to place it on the zip line. And so 40 inches divided by 4 is going to be 10, plus what I have here, that here is 1.5, so going to be 11.5. Then 2 inches allowance, 1, 2, so 13.5 here. Okay, so I'll just join it this way. From the armhole point here, the half inch will reduce to the waist measurement. And so this is it. Okay guys, so this is what I have done. I have transferred it to this card. Yes, so this is for the front and this is for the back. I have to do this transfer because I intend to keep it for a very long time. With the paper, it easily gets spoiled. So I've transferred everything. You can see I've made some arrows. Made the mark center 1, side. This one is side 2. So this side, this place is center, middle. So 1. Then this one center 2. Then I made an arrow to show that it is coming to this direction, because sometimes after cutting, if you are not careful, you will end up using this side to be this side. Then you will turn it. When it happens like that and you join, you realize that your breast cap becomes flat instead of it popping out very well. So in order not to confuse yourself, make an arrow on your pattern. I've also made an arrow indicating that this is down, this is down, this is up, this place is coming up. Do you get it? So if you are able to do this on your paper and you place it on your fabric and you cut, you are going to make the same arrow, and whatever you have, you're also on the fabric. Use your tailor's chalk to do that markings, so that when you are joining, you will not be confused, and you get your cap to pop out beautifully. Do you get it? And so when you come to the back too, you'll see that I've made the same arrows also here, indicating this is zip allowance. So I've written zip allowance there. Now this can confuse you at times, that when you are even joining, you will end up turning it, this one coming down and this one coming up. And so I've used an arrow to indicate top down. Use an arrow to indicate that this is the zip allowance is coming here. This line is both this side and this side, and this is the dart side also. You see, I've indicated this. So we are going to cut it out. I'm going to cut from here. See, this one cut half inch here. I'm going to cut the neck. On this cut, I'm not going to cut this line. I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to cut the zip allowance too, because I'm going to use this as a template. Sometimes I would want to use a zipper for maybe the style I'm sewing instead of using a loop. And so if I want to use a zipper, then I will have this one there to serve as my zip allowance. If I want to use a loop, then I'll just cut this off and that'll be it. And so what I'll do is to just take the dart line. So this is the back part. This is the back. As for the lines we have here, I will cut them. Now we'll come to this side also. And what I'm going to do is to cut the armhole. Before I cut the armhole, I'm going to come here. That is the shoulder slope. Come here 1 inch. And then The neck width I'm going to measure here is 4, but I'm not going to just draw any neck there. And so this is it. Then I'm going to cut it this way, and I'm going to cut on this instead of this. I'll cut this and not this. To be for our yoke. Do you get it? This is going to be for our yoke. Now I did not add any neck shape to it because I can decide that today I want to make the neck V. So if I want to make the neck V, all that I need is maybe the neck width. So even the neck width, I can decide to go in instead of the 4. I can decide to come to 5 inches or 6 inches. Maybe I want a boat neck, and so maybe I'll do 6 inches here. And then the deep I'll come 4 inches and then draw to meet it. If I want it V, however deep I want it, maybe I want the V to be up to this line, so I will just place it here, and then maybe I'm using 4, so from the 4 then I will join it to the measurement here, and then I will get it. So I will not have any neck shape on this. When I place it on my fabric and then I cut it out, after I'm going to have what? My neck shape on the fabric, and then get my neck shape. Do you get it? And so for the back, this is going to be for the yoke. This is the yoke, and we have this also there. And so when you place it on your fabric, all that you have to do is add ½ inch at the upper part here, ½ inch at the upper part here, and you are good to go. Then this one to the yoke side, you add ½ inch here, and then you are okay to join. Now if you decide that maybe I don't want to use this one as a yoke, and you are going to use this to cut your tube, it's okay. You can still use this without this. Do you get it? You can still use this without this. Even with the yoke side, maybe you don't want the yoke to start from here. You want the yoke to start from here. When you place it on your on a paper, before you place it on your fabric, you can place it on your paper and then get this out. Get all this out, and then mark this there. Mark the point also here. Mark this one. Draw your line and then cut it from there, and then the rest will be for your down the tube. Then you just get your and that up to this point, and then trim it, and you are okay. And so this is it for the back. So I'll keep this as long as I want. Do you get it? And I'm going to cut here. So I'm going to get this off, get the line straight here. Okay. And then I'm going to get this off first. Then we are going to cut this out, and then cut this one also out. So we have it this way. So you see, you will join it together this way. Now, if you want this shape, then we are going to cut this into 2. But on this card, I am going to leave it like that. I am not going to cut it into 2. whenever I decide to go for this kind of shape, I'll just place a card on a brown paper, mark this one out this way, and then indicate these lines and then cut it through. Do you get it? Cut it through before I'll come and join and get the upper. But on the paper, the pattern we did on the brown paper, I'm going to cut it through so that I'll teach you on how to join this together and get the upper part. And so we are going to cut the armhole also. We are going to cut the armhole. And so this is it. So this is going to be for your yoke. Do you get it? This is going to be for your yoke. Any neck shape you want, you can draw it here and get your neck shape, and that will be okay. If maybe you want to sew the corset, you don't want any yoke, you just have to put this aside, and then this is also enough to give you the corset that you need. Do you get it? I have a video there on how to sew corset, so I'll leave the link there so that you know after getting this pattern how you place it on your fabric, cut it out, and then sew. Do you get it? So I'll leave the link there for you to watch. So you see, you have this. You can use this alone to sew your corset and you are okay. Plus the back here, and you are okay to sew your corset tube. And you are okay. If you want to add a yoke to it, you have these two to get your yoke, and you are also what? Okay. Okay guys, so I'm going to teach you something about how to make a corset with sleeve. If you take the yoke off and you have this, how do you fix your sleeve? This one will be under your armpits, and so if you fix your sleeve, you will not get it on the shoulder or even close to the shoulder, because this is under your armpits. Do you get it? And so when you add the yoke to it, this is your actual armhole line. And so how then do you get it? I'm going to pick a different paper and then mark out on it. Okay, so I have placed everything on it this way, and you're going to mark it out. Now bear in mind, the most important place is here, not this. The center here, it doesn't matter, but I just place it on it anyway. What is important is here. And so let's mark it out this way. Okay, so this is it. And so now to get the armhole that will help you get the sleeve or fix your sleeve, you are going to use this. You see, you are going to use this. So instead of marking this one here, marking it here this way, you are going to extend it to the armhole. Do you get it? You just extend it to the armhole here this way. This way. And this one you are going to join it to this. You are going to join this one to this. And so this is it. And so you cut this one this way and this way. Then you cut this here. Let's do it. Then you cut this one also. Then you cut this. So you have this. And so for the back, we'll place the back on this way equally, and this one too is here. Okay, and then just draw this out. You can also use the front one to trace it. You can also use this one to trace it. Okay, so we have this and the dots. We'll push this, then we are going to have this also, trace it also. Okay, so let's take it off. Before we take it off, I need to trace this one also. Okay, and then trace the zip allowance line. So you can make all these markings in this way. The paper isn't enough, so it's going to end just here. Okay, but you can make the markings also in so that you can rule your line. Okay, so when you take it off this way, this is what you are going to do. You can place the front one on this way and then mark the armhole here, but this is where the back armhole is supposed to be. So this is what you're going to do. We'll just mark what we have here, and that's almost 5 inches, and then we are going to place that same thing also here, so somewhere like this. But you can also still make it the same. You will get it. You can place this on it this way and then mark it out here, and then you are going to join it here. But I'm going to do this, so you can decide to go for this. Let me use a pencil. You can decide to go for this. You see what we have here, you see, and then mark this out, you see. So you will cut it here so that it will be equal with the front one, or you can decide to go for this. And this is where the neckline ends. So from here you just come here straight this way with your curve, and then mark it to the length of the back neck where you want it to be, you see. And so if it's here, then it means you're going to mark it this way, you see. So it's going to be like this, you see. Either you cut it here or you cut it here, you get it. Okay, so at the end of the day you have to extend the darts to the top because you are going to cut it. So extend the darts to the top, and then this also to the top, you see. And so you have it this way, and then all that you have to do is to cut it out. So at the end of the day you have your back this way, you see, and this is the front, you see. And so you'll be able to fix your sleeve here and here. When you join, you'll be able to fix your sleeve and everything will be okay. You'll be able to fix your sleeve. And so if you have these available, you can manipulate it to whatever you want to achieve at the end of the day. You get it. All that you have to do is just place it on a different paper and then work things out. You get it. Now I want to show you something. When we come to, we are going to cut this and then teach you how you are going to get the upper part. So just cut it through. So this way. So this is it. So what you do is you are going to, so you don't have to forget it. Make sure you label it. Do you get it? So we will join it together this way with a solid tape. Then you just pick your solid tape and then you are going to join the two together. So like this is okay. We join it together this way. Or if this doesn't join together well, don't worry, you can still join it together this way and get it. You get it. Then you pick a different paper, place it on it, and then make sure you trace it out. Okay, so this, then you take it out, then you cut it. So this is it. So you have it this way, and so when you join, this is you still have turned it, so this is supposed to come here. That is why you have to label it. So this is center 2, side 2. So this is center 1, and then this is side 1. And so when you have it this way, you place it on your fabric and you cut. So you will sew this together, and then after you join this also to this, then you get that effect you are looking for. Do you get it? And so if you have this in place, you can manipulate it to get whatever you want. Do you get it? You can easily place these two on a brown paper and then cut and then get this one. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So this is it for today's tutorial. Please, if you are watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, like and share the video. Bye bye.